CAT 27 student or you're a CAT 26 student, the session will be useful to you. So whatever queries you have with respect to your profile, feel free to drop it in the YouTube chat section. And I would appreciate if you drop in all the details. So what I would need to comment and talk about your candidature or your chances is going to be 10th, 12th, graduation percentage, work ex, category, gender, and stream. Right. So if you can put all of these things, that is going to help. When I mention stream, it is basically engineering or non-engineering. So if you can just drop in a line about that, and then it will be better for all of us, right? So I'll be able to give you more specific insights in terms of what you can do. So make sure that you drop in all these details: 10th, 12th graduation, which is nothing but your academic record, then work experience in months, and your category, gender, and stream, whether you're engineer, non-engineer. Right? Okay, hi, Abhi Gaming 5452. Welcome to the stream. Harsh, okay, so 767. Just a minute. 767 OBC engineer male, zero work experience. Okay. Again, 767, I'm going to take it as 70, 60, 70, right? So see, it would be better if you put exact numbers so that it will help me. OBC engineer male. So see, couple of things, right? When you look at the selection process of the IMs, for general NCOBC, EWS, SC and ST candidates and PWD, the minimum sectional and overall requirement will be slightly different, right? Clearing the minimum sectional ensures that you become eligible for the subsequent process. You will still need to clear the overall percentile cutoff as well. And then finally, it will matter as to how many students from your category who have similar composite scores are there, right? So all of those things are going to make a difference. So I'm going to, again, and I would appreciate if you put the message once and just wait for me to get back to you. I can see a lot of queries already. So give me some time before I come to your query, right? I'm going to take them as they are coming in that particular order. So we'll follow the first in, first out principle. Okay. So I'm going to start with Harsh FTW's question. So that's going to be 70, 60, 70. And what I have in front of me, what I'm using is essentially, we have something called Profile Ranker, IMS Profile Ranker. And all of you can also check it out for yourself. So you'll be able to enter your information and get more insights. But I'm using like like an in-house version of that, which will help me to address your queries quickly. So a couple of things. When you don't have work experience, it's not going to make a lot of difference, because a lot of IIMs don't give you points if you don't, if it is not sizable. For example, IIM Ahmedabad, they don't give you any points if you have less than 12 months of experience. Similarly, at IMK, for example, less than 6 months of experience, you don't get any points. So now coming to this specific query, Harsh, you have mentioned you are an engineering candidate. See, with 70, 60, 70 also, right? And assuming NCOBC as well, the academic record is not that great, right? 70, 60, 70 is not a great academic record. So the chance of you making it to Blackie, honestly, is going to be on the lower end, right? You will have to really fight it out, and you will have to target very high CAT percentile to have a shot at it, right? Because it's not that NCOBC cutoffs will be very, very low. For 70, 60, 70, honestly, it's going to be a very big fight to get into the old IIMs, right? I would say you try and recalibrate your aspiration. So think of some of the third generation IIMs, second and third generation IIMs. If you get a high CAT percentile, then it might open some doors for you. I would say target something like a 96, 97 percentile as the bare minimum to have some shot at some of the second and third generation IIMs. Right now, the data that I have in front of me, I would say the chances are very, very marginal for you, right? So I would encourage you to look at second, third generation IIMs, and also be open to some of the top tier non-IIM institutions. That can happen in the form of taking some of the other tests like SNAP, NMAT, XAT, etc., to create more opportunities for yourself. But 767 honestly is not a great academic record, and I think you also know it by now when you started preparing for the CAT that it is going to be a bit of a concern. Uh, Question from Breakhammer1: does it matter if you're working in Big Four? Okay, so the quality of work experience, right? The kind of brand that you have on your resume doesn't matter in the initial shortlisting. So the initial shortlisting is dependent on the quantitative parameters, right? Because see, when you think of it, 2.58 lakh takers, for example, last year. How do they shortlist candidates? So that's why they look at only quantitative parameters, which is 10, 12, graduation. All of these are numbers, right? So the where exactly you've worked, right? Where you've worked in, whether in Big Four or some other big brand, doesn't really matter from the initial shortlisting perspective. Okay. But it's good to have that, because when you go for the interviews, which is the subsequent process, right? That time it will create a difference. So you will be able to make some impact in the interview room if you carry a brand on your resume. But from a shortlisting perspective, it doesn't help much. Okay, Shriyanshi Singh. So I'm going to take the next question from Shriyanshi, and that's going to be like a 90, 80, 70 kind of a profile. The student is a non-engineer female fresher. You haven't mentioned the category, so I'm going to consider it to be general candidate in this particular case. Okay, so for non-engineering, firstly, good news. Yeah, you are a female non-engineering candidate, and that's a pretty solid position to be in, honestly, because of the diversity weightages that are given by the IMS. I would say for Blackie, right, you should be targeting at least, I would say, a 96.6-ish. We have a few students who have made it at slightly lower percentile as well. But that depends, right? So that will also depend on like the exact. So you have mentioned 987. I would definitely encourage all of you to give exact numbers, because that helps me more. Slightly finer filtering that will happen. But guessing like a 90, 80, 70, a 96.6-ish on the CAT for Blackie is what you should be aiming for. That will also open up doors for all the second and third generation IMs for you, right? So I would say a 96 point something. If you're targeting second and third generation IMs, even at a 96 point something, you should make it to some of the second generation IMs. Third generation IMs would definitely be much lower than that, right? So something like 90 plus should be good enough. So overall target 96.6 or more, that should put you in a very good spot. So I'm going to keep my responses as short as possible, because we already have 97 students, and I'm going to try and answer everybody's question, even if it takes maybe 1.5 hours for us to stream this thing. But then I'll try and keep my responses short so that I'm able to cover more and more students. Gem Fresher 989. Okay, again, category is a very important piece of information, so please share that, and whether uh, again, specifics like 989 doesn't help me much, but I'm going to use it as 90. And this is a question from Abhi Gaming, right? Okay, Abhi Gaming, your question was not answered, right? So I'm just going to pick it up. So general engineer male. Okay, with gems, again, you all know by now, I guess, it is very challenging to sort of make it, even if you have a 90, 80, 90, correct? For Blackie, aim as high as possible, right? So something like a 99.5. With that, some doors might open up. For second generation IMs and all, I think 98 point something should suffice. So maybe a 98.8-ish is what you can aim for. We have seen sometimes students also getting calls from second generation IMs at about 97.5 percentile. But in your particular case, I would say a 90 with 90, 80, 90, maybe a 98.9, 98.8 should be the target. See, the disclaimer that I want to give is that these are just the numbers based on last 2 years, correct? IMs can change the shortlisting criteria next year. We don't know how many people are going to take the CAT. So things might change a little bit here and there. The important thing is the message that if you know a certain range, let me target that at least, so that I'm in somewhat a comfortable position. Harini Bhaskaran 9848, I'm going to take your question as the next. So 998, so 90, 90, 80. And this is, just a minute. Okay. I will try and answer all the questions, but I'm not sure whether we'll be able to do it. OBC, NCOBC, female non-engineering. Okay. So if you're an NCOBC female non-engineering candidate, right, with a 90, 90, 80 record, uh, the good news is that even with lower percentile, you will be able to get calls. Okay. No work, so that's what I've considered. I would say even at 93 point something, it is possible to make it to some of the old times. Should you be targeting that? No, I would suggest that you target somewhere closer to 97 as an aspirational thing. At 90, it is still possible for you to make it to some of the second and third generation IMs, right? So definitely possible second and third generation IMs at about 90 percentile. Top non-IMs will also be possible at that score, right? But for Blackie, maybe a 92 point something, 93 point something should be the aim. Target 97. Okay, so always keep a higher target, because there's no point keeping lower aspirations. So if somebody tells you like a lower bound, don't go with that number, right? Target something more than that. This is Akshat Jain 8945, right? So 988. So I'm going to take it as 90, 80, 80, and non-engineer uh, candidate, right? So you haven't mentioned, so zero workings, right? Okay. Blackie, we had a student with similar profile, right? But last year, I think his score was 99.85. That's what my table is telling me. So you will have to aim at a higher level. Okay, so aim as high as possible. Let me just go back to the question. We kind of lost the track. Uh, just a minute. Yeah, I think I lost a lot of questions in the from the earlier set of questions. I'm not able to even see them right now. Anyway, I'm going to start with the one that I can see. So this is Utkarsh Patil 4214, right? So 80, 60, and 80. The student is an engineering fresher. So I'm going to again consider your category as a okay. So your category is NCOBC. All right. So the 60 in 12th is going to hurt you. Okay, so that will create problems at some of the Blackie, especially that give weightages to 12, and all of them give weightages to 12. I and K have higher weightage, so that is going to be a challenge, I would say. I'm not going to keep very high hopes for Blackie in this particular case because of that 16-12 standard. Okay. I'll rather recalibrate and think of second and third generation IMs, which will be possible at about 95 plus percentile. So keep that as the aim, Utkarsh, for yourself. See, the point is with Blackie, right? It is very, very competitive to get in, and the number of shortlists that they give, right, is also on the minimal side. So they don't give a lot of buffer calls, and you will always have people with very good 10th and 12th score. So 80-60, for example, or 80-80 also for that matter, is not a very good 10th and 12th score. Okay, so you should be, I mean, there's nothing that you can do about it now, but a 1990 is something to something which will put you in a very good spot. See, category advantages tend to be minimal, because even within the category it gets very competitive, I would say. Question from Devcharya 6039. So maybe for all the students, I may not do the entering of data because there are too many queries, but at least I'll give like some overall commentary, right? See, if you are okay, again I lost it. So I'm going to take question from Vinayak. This is 987 general male non-engineer chances for Blackie. See, chances are always there, correct? So it's not about chances. It depends on how much you're able to push in the cat. Grad, I don't think it will impact a lot, though 987 7 is something that might create problem at some of the places, but otherwise it should be fine, right? So chances are definitely there. Okay. Question from Regia Gaming YT, NCOBC male, BBA fresher 898. So 898 is good, but I mean 12th is good, 10th not so much. See, in 10th 80 is not great. Okay, so that is how things are. But with that, whatever you can do, you try and do it. WorkX is 0, NCOBC, male non-engineer, right? Okay, I think 96 point something should be fine. So Regia Gaming YT, to address your question, a 96.7 plus is what my table is saying. We have students who have made it at slightly lower scores as well, but I would suggest you to target a 96.7 as the bare minimum. Okay. I'm losing a lot of questions, by the way, because students keep putting question again and again. So I tend to miss, I will end up missing a few. So what I'll suggest is, in case your question does not get answered in the stream, right, you leave it as a comment and I'll try and reply as soon as I can. Okay. This is from Debajit Kumar, 72, 66, 73. Okay. So, Debajit, even without entering the data right that you have shared, 72, 66, 73, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it, right? It's not like a great score, right? From a purely academic perspective. Being from SC category definitely will help you a little bit. Being a non-engineering male candidate will also help you. From a percentile target, you will have to keep slightly a target which is somewhere in the range of 80 plus. I have seen students with similar profile getting in, and we have that data at about 70 percentile in third generation IMs as well, right? But I would suggest that you keep a target of 80, 85 plus or even more to get into some of the older IMs. Okay. Mayank, general non-engineer male. Okay. So general non-engineering male candidate 988. Okay, that's decent, I would say. 9088 is still okay. With some extracurriculars, one internship targeting IMK. Definitely possible, but again, for Blackie, the percentile requirement is going to be high, even though you are a non-engineer male, correct? See, because what happens is in 10, 12, they tend to normalize scores across the board and all of that. So, considering everything, you should be targeting at least a 98.3 in my view. That's what my data is telling. Second, third generation IMs, especially when possible for you at 96 point something, 96.6 ish. Second generation 98.3, and for Blackie 99 plus. Okay. All right. There are the questions, the rate at which the questions are coming in, I'm not even able to read one question and then it suddenly jumps to the next. I'm going to take a question from Sanyukta 916, general female doctor. Okay. All right. So before I do that, right, let me do one thing. Because there are so many questions, let's do one thing. Let me address different set of audiences. So firstly, if you have 10th, 12th and graduation, 10, 12, let's say 90 plus and graduation 80 plus, right? That is considered to be a very, very good academic profile. The lower you have on this spectrum, the more you will have to get in the form of CAT percentage. So keep that as your core understanding. Secondly, the weightages, if you look at them, right, CAT score will have about 55 to 60% weight in the initial shortlisting. So you should be targeting higher and higher CAT score. That is the basic aim to keep. The data that is there just to help you understand, okay, what is the bare minimum that you should be targeting. Category, for each of the categories, the minimum sectional is different, overall is different. So that is the first advantage that a category student will get. Second thing is regarding gender, diversity points on average at old IMs is about 5 to 6%, right? So that advantage female candidates will get. And regarding work experience, anything above 6 months should put you in a spot where you get some points. I think apart from IIM Bangalore, nobody gives you points for less than 6 months of experience, right? So anything less than 6 months is honestly as good as not having any work ex. So whether you have 0 or you have 5, it doesn't matter. Sweet spot for work ex is going to be 36 months at which you max out everywhere. So these are the bare minimum things that you need to understand. Extracurriculars, all of the other co-curriculars, extracurriculars that you may have done, do they matter for shortlisting? No. So you should not be thinking of improving your profile from, let's say, the co-curricular or extracurricular activities if you are a pre-final or final year student. The major thing that you should focus on is going to be your GPA, because that will have roughly about 10% weightage. In most cases, if you look at IIMs, 10% is the weightage for the graduation score. The higher you get, the better it is going to be for you, correct? So focus on those things rather than anything else extra, like say being part of some committee or club and stuff like that. Okay. All right. This is a question from Kasu Siddharth 4413. Okay, so let me just take some direct questions and then we'll move on to more generic discussion. So 88, 93, and 80, and this is an NCOBC student, engineer male candidate, right? Okay, 97.8 8 roughly should be the target. And I generally use median figures to give targets because rather than looking at the extreme. So I can see one student has made it to one of the Blackie similar profile at about 96.5 percentile as well. But I would suggest that you target the median number, which is around 97.8. Second generation IMs would be possible for you at about 96 percentile. Third generation possible at about 93 percentile. Okay, so I hope I have answered your question. I'll take question from Vandana Ramesh 5031. 10th is 92, that's good. 12th is 81 and UG is 75. So I'm going to take that as the figure. Work-ex is 10 months and the student is a non-engineering female general candidate. Okay. So general female non-engineer. 98.7 roughly. If you are able to get there, that should be a good figure for you. Median figure again is what I'm quoting. I can see some students have made it at 96 point something as well. Second generation IMs possible at about 97 for you. Third generation IMs possible at about 95.9. But as I said, there are figures, a few students who have made it at about 95 for second generation IMs as well, right? Target minimum 95. That's the bottom line that you can take away. I really appreciate all the questions, and honestly, I'm overwhelmed at this point of time because of all the questions that I'm getting. So if for whatever reasons, right, I'm not able to answer your questions, please give it as a comment and I'll get back as soon as I can. Okay. I'll take a question from uh, Soham. So this is 10th 96. By the way, 1096 is a solid score, Soham. 12th 91. Mostly you just need validation from mind. So 96, 91 is very, very good. 85 in graduation, that's solid. Appeared for CA final in May 26, did not clear. Okay. Dropped out of CA. I don't know if the reason behind you dropping out, but if you already reached that stage, it might be worth another attempt, I would say. SC male candidate and stream is non-engineering, right? Okay. Good news for you. I have students who with similar profile because of the SC candidate you're getting an advantage who have made it to Blackie. Very few candidates, but I made it at even 90 percentile. Okay. The aim that, however, you should be targeting, right, just to improve your overall chances of making it, is going to be around 97. So at 90, still possible. Okay, that's what the numbers are telling me. But target 97. And again, this, see, everything is, take it in that spirit that if I score more, the more are going to be my chances, right? So try and maximize it as much as you can. Okay, but 96, 91, 10, 12 SC category, that's a solid profile for old IMs. 776. Okay, so see, with profiles like 77, this is from Hardik Yadav, right? See, 77 is going to hurt you. The OBC NCL part of it, your profile, right? It will help you a little bit because your minimum sectional and overall will be slightly lower. But does that mean that it compensates for having a 776? The answer is no. So in most sincerity, right, Hardik, my suggestion to you is going to be, don't focus on the old IMs. Instead, think of how can I make it to, let's say, second and third generation IMs by pushing your CAT percentile as much as possible. With that, if some of the old IMs end up giving you a call, great, fantastic, nothing like it. Then I am wrong, this table is wrong. But I would say, re-look at your aspirations, and rather than targeting old IMs, you focus on second and third generation IMs, which will be possible. And there again, 90 to 95 is what you should be targeting. Okay. All right. Question from Monty 95555. Okay, so 91, 94, 70. Okay, BCom fresher, EWS. Again, see, EWS doesn't help too much. Okay, so the minor advantages that you get, it is minor, so it's not going to be very, very significant. So yeah, EWS you should get, but that's not going to be very useful. Blackie requirement will still be higher, so somewhere above 99 percentile for Blackie. Second generation IMs at about 98. I can see students who have made it at about 94 percentile as well. And third generation IIMs at around same 94 percentile. So bare minimum 94 percentile for you, Monty 95555. Okay. Question from Krish Patel 2738. 10th is 90. Okay, that's good. 12th is 90. But see, 90-90, right? When I say good, it's basically top 10% of CAT applicants. So typically, if you look at the data, top 10% of CAT applicants would be sitting at 95-ish in 10th and about 92 in 12th. So when you say 90-90, it will be like top 20% roughly of CAT applicant. So 10, 12, 90-90, grad is 76, and engineer male candidate. Okay, this is NCOBC, all right. 97 point something, Krish Patel 2738. That's the aim to keep 97.5 as the bare minimum. This is again the median number of median percentile of students who have made it from IMS from the last 2 years. Second generation IMS possible at about 95.7. Third generation IMS at about 93 point something. Okay. See, even at a when I look at median numbers, the lower bounds you can take about -3 to -4%. So if I say third generation IIM possible at about 93, at 89 also people will be able to make it with this profile. Okay, but then uh, better to target a higher score, right? Rather than thinking of the lower bounds. Keep that as the constant. Um, Wicked Gaming 3886 988. Okay, so 988 and Gem currently in 4th year. 2 international sports medal. Okay, so those international sports medals will help you at the interview stage. They're not going to give you a short list. This can still work for something like an ISB or an SPJMR where there's a profile-based shortlisting system. But for old IIMs or for other IIMs, it's not going to matter much in the initial shortlist. 6 internships, great. But again, it's going to matter in the interview room, in the final selection. So 988 and general engineer male, right? Blackie is going to be slightly competitive to get in. You will have to target a 99.5. Second generation IIMs possible at about 98.5-ish and third generation at about 96.2. So Wicked Gaming 3886, those are the numbers to target. Sakshi, female general non-engineer. Okay, female general non-engineer and 95-93. So 95-93 is good. That's that puts you in a comfortable top 10% CAT applicant pool kind of thing. 3.8 on 4, so I am going to take it. I'm not sure of the exact conversion, but I'm going to take it at 95 and no work ex, right? Okay, so good news for you. At about 98.5 something, you should still be able to make it to old IIMs. I have seen students with similar background at about 96.2 as well making it, but that's the lower side, so don't target that. 98.5 and above for Blackie, 98-ish for second generation IIMs, and 95 point something for third generation IIMs. Okay, now after taking all these questions for half an hour, I'm pretty sure I'll not be able to answer all the questions. I initially thought that very few students will join and I'll be able to address everything, but that's not going to happen. So once we end the stream after about half an hour, you can leave questions as comments and I'll try and reply to each and every comment. Okay, so you have my word. I'll answer to all the questions, but from the stream, I don't know how many I'll be able to pick up because of the number of questions. Okay, so Aditya, okay, I kind of lost your question, so I'm not sure. Let me look at a question from Jai Mataji 0014. Okay, 63. So see, 63 is a problem. 59 is a problem. 71 is okay. The SC category is not going to help you a lot because of the 6359. Okay. Okay, if you're a PWD candidate, however, right, that will have slightly more in terms of the requirement will go down a little bit. IMA, nobody can answer it for you, right? Because we don't know your CAT score. So whether you will make it to IIM Ahmedabad or not specifically, I don't know. If you're targeting, say, at least maybe an 80 percentile, I think you still have a chance to get there. But 6359 is not competitive, right? And that's why I say it's better to reevaluate and focus outside the old IMs. See, if you make it, correct, because of your CAT score or whatever, that's great. But the problem is that don't get fixated with it. If you get fixated, then it's the issue. Because it might be a pursuit that's not going to happen. So instead, recalibrate, think of second and third generation IMs, think of top tier non IMs, get a solid CAT score, and then see what happens. Okay, like a generic question, this is a student, Shubham speaking. I had 80 KT, which is back in one subject in my first year of college. Okay, so that's generally not a problem. See, as long as you have cleared all your subjects, right, as long as you're eligible to take the CAT, it's not going to create a problem if you had like an 80 KT or something. If it's a year drop and it is visible, where they see that you started your graduation in a particular year, it took 5 years, they may ask you in the interview stage, correct? 75-70 again is on the lower side. So with the 75-70, the chances start going down pretty heavily. And can I make it to any IM with EWS? The answer is yes. Okay. See, second generation IMs, third generation IMs will definitely be possible. Uh, are you an engineer? You haven't mentioned it, but I'm going to take it as an engineering candidate. Possible, right? With EWS, it is possible, but you will need minimum 95 to have like any chance. I would say anything less than 95, I think it just significantly down then probability of you making it. Question from an HXT04. This is a male engineer NCOBC candidate. Okay, so male engineer 90 60 65. Okay, so see again, 90 60, right? That 60 is going to hurt you. 90 is okay, but 60 is something that all IMs will look at. So 90 60 65 and a what NCOBC male engineer, right? um, I hardly have any students who have made it at lower percentile. So you will need a bare minimum of 95 to have any chance. And even with that, it will be very competitive because of your class 12 score. See, ultimately what matters is your class 12 score, how is it relative to all the students and their class 12 score. So 60 is on the lower percentile side. And that is why it will be a problem. So your CAT score has to be, I think a 95 plus should be the bare minimum aim for you. And even with that, it's very difficult to comment which all will you eventually make it. See, this is not a prediction, right? This is what I'm doing is basically telling you what the data is trying to tell us. Once you have that, how you react to it is up to you. You can always say, okay, fine, maybe I'll look at some of the other institutes. The other thing is to say, fine, let me add more exams, correct? Let me increase my chances. Let me do the best that I can and see what happens. This is a question from Vivek Kumar. Vivek Kumar MQ9QE 86 86 79 general non-engineer male no work X. I can see some students have made it with similar record at about 97.8 to Blackie. Median is about 99.8, however. Second generation IMs possible at about 98.2 median. Minimum bound I can see at about 96.6 percentile. Third generation IMs median at about 96.6, lower bound at about 93ish. GEM with 10, 9, 12, 9 grad 6.5, 2 years of work. This is Ashwin Girish 8078. So see, Ashwin, 90, 90 is good. 10, 12, so that is fine. Grad 65 will hurt you a little bit. 2 years of work X, so that will give you decent points. GEM candidate. Okay, I can see students getting into Blackie at about 99.8 median. So you will have to target a higher. See, all gems. The bottom line is simple. If you're a general candidate, target a 99.5. At a 98 point something, very difficult to get a call. At a 99 point something, also very difficult to get a call. 99.5 keep as the bare minimum. Over and above that, whatever you can get, it will help you. But for you, Aswin, Second generation IMS at about 98.7 median, 96.7 is the lower bound. Third generation IMS at about 96.5 and about 93 as the lower bound. 10th, okay, next question is from Aditya Kabra 1642. 10th is 94, 12th is 91, and BCom honors 8, general male fresher. Okay. All right, and this is non-engineering, right? Okay. Median Blackie at about 99.3 percentile, minimum at about 96.4, 96.5 roughly. Second generation IMs at about 98.5 median, about 96.6 lower bound. Third generation IMs at about 97.4 and about 92.5 as the lower bound. Stranger Jeevan 92, 77, 65. Okay, 92, 77, and 65. That 77 and 65 will still be a problem. Even though you belong to SC category, that benefit is only for the minimum sectional and overall requirement. No work ex, engineer passed out in 24. Okay, so SC male engineer. All right, second, third generation IMs definitely possible at about 90, 91 percentile. Blackie, a little difficult for me to comment on because of the lower 12th and graduation scores. So again, I would suggest recalibrate. See, the point is you should keep your options open and don't think that, okay, I will be able to make it to Blackie. Uh, Second generation, third generation definitely looks possible. We have a lot of students who have made it. Blackie, I don't see many students making it anything with at anything less than a 90 percentile with this kind of profile. So target more than that. I would say 91, keep that as your target and then see what happens. Crazy P4450, 1095, that's good. 12th is 95, okay. Again, I think you need validation. Non-engineer. See, 95, 95 is very solid, right? Whether you are an engineer or you're a non-engineer. Non-engineer general male candidate. Okay. BBA is 90. All right. So your academic record is solid. At what percentile can I make it to Blackie? See, Blackie, I think you should be able to make it at even about a 96.6. And Blackie itself is a range, right? I'm not, when I say Blackie, doesn't mean each of the Blackie. So I can see one student has made it at 96.6 with similar profile in one of the Blackies. Median still stands at about 99.3. So you should be targeting 99 plus. Second generation IMs possible for you at about 98.6 median. Third generation possible at about 97.4 median. Okay. So if you ask me what is the bare minimum aim, I would say a 97. Okay, that should put you in a very good spot. Okay. See, I hope this is helping you, and I understand that I may not be able to answer everybody's question, and I apologize for that as well, just because it's the sheer number of queries that we have. Please like the stream in case you haven't done it, and you can always come back if you think your question will not get answered in another 18 odd minutes, 18-20 minutes, post which I'm going to end it. Because I want to answer everybody's question and I'm unable to do it. So might as well handle it via the comments, right? So please come back to the stream later, leave a comment and I'll answer your questions. Question from Urvi Patil, 9694. Okay, see all those of you, right, who have 90 plus, honestly, you don't need to worry about your chances. Okay, you should be thinking of how can I maximize my CAT score, and just do the best that you can there, because you are already in the top 10% of applicant pool. Let me tell you that the moment somebody like this, right, Urvi, as she shared her data, you are already there. A 96, 94, 97 general non-engineering female can make it to Blackie, median at about 98.5, lower bound at about 96.5. Second generation IMs at about 97.9 median, a 96 something as the lower bound, and third generation IMs at about 95 percentile with about 91 as the lower bound. So can you make it to IMs at 91 plus? The answer is yes. Now, depending on which IM, you can calibrate. You can say, okay, fine, my target is Blackie. So 98.5, right? Let me target that. But anybody with 90, 90, 90 or 90, 90 at least, 10, 12, already. Okay, let's take a question from Sanket. Sanket Agarwal, this is 10th 94, 12th 86, and grad is 79. CGPA from NIT, GEM fresher. Okay, so general male engineer. Uh, Average target Blackie, FMS, SPJ, and IIT Bombay, MDI Gurga. How much would I target for a safe call? Sanket, median is about 99.7. So that should be the aim that you keep for yourself. Why? Because see, it will also improve your chances of making it to some of these other institutes that you spoke, right? FMS, for example, very high dependency on your CAT score. IIT Bombay, definitely correct. With SPJMR, being from NIT will help you. The extracurriculars also will help you for sure. But SPJMR, you can make it even at a lower percentile, right? So even at about a 98 point something, you should be able to make it to SPJMR quite comfortably, I would say. So for you, second generation IIMs, you're not even targeting that, so I'm going to skip it. 99.7 median, that's what I'll leave you with. Question from Kunal Iyer, 95, 97. Okay, see, Kunal, no need to worry, right? 95, 97. So I would say anybody with 90 plus in 10, 12, please don't worry. You don't have to ask what your chances are to anybody, I would say, including me. Especially if you're a non-engineering candidate, then definitely you should not be worrying. Lower bound Blackie, I have data at about 97 percentile. Kunal Iyer, 7523. 97 percentile will also take you there, but target should be around 99.3 to be safe. Second generation, I am at about 98.5 median and a 96.6 as the lower bound. Okay. Third generation will obviously be lower, and I'm assuming you will not be targeting some of them. Go DZ OP20. Okay, so I'm going to take your question next. 84. 12th is 78. It's not because he's posting his question repeatedly, it's because I can see it. I missed a lot of questions because of the pace at which the questions are going. So this is Go DZ OP. GEM no WorkX. Okay, General Engineer Male 84, 78, 86. Any IIMs possible? Yes. So that is yes to that part of the question. But Blackie is going to be a challenge. So for a GEM, 84, 78, 10, 12 is not a great academic record. 12th especially, correct? 84 is still somewhat better. Again, with no WorkX, correct? So I would say Blackie target, reevaluate. Second generation IIMs definitely possible. I can see median at about 98.8, lower bound at about 97.8. Third generation IIMs possible at 97 point something. So for you, in short, the simple answer is 97 plus is the target. Anything less than that might be a bit of a challenge. Okay, Yash Adhyapak 7435, because he has answered sort of this existential question. So I'm going to take that because that will also help a lot of other students. 10th 92, 12th 72. Okay, so your 12th is going to hurt you at quite a few places. GEM 26 fresher. Okay, now question is, I don't have a job. Should I consider CAT, leaving everything else, or what? Some students have made it to third generation IIMs and second generation IIMs with this sort of profile. Okay, minimum target to keep would be around 93 percentile. So anything less than 93 percentile, very difficult. In fact, lower bound that I can see is about 91 percentile for IIMs. So anything less than 91.3 for you is very, very difficult, mostly not going to happen. 93 percentile, however, should be the aim. So target that and something will work out. So you don't have to leave this opportunity. I would say give it a shot, see what happens. See, a lot of us, what we tend to do, right, is we tend to self-reject, and self-rejection is pretty harmful. 858, general non-engineer male. Okay. See, your 12th is going to hurt you for sure. General non-engineer male candidate. Okay. 858, right? This is Kirti Sharma. Can I make it into any good B school? Okay, so let me answer that part of the question. Can you make it to any good B school? The answer is yes, because there are a lot of B schools where you don't have all of these things that we are talking about, right? 10, 12, graduation, weightages, etc. You will still be able to make it to a good B school. My simple recommendation is that take as many tests as you can. CAT, ZAT, NMAT, SNAP, CMAT, CET, whatever. Take all of them and see what happens. With Blackie, that 15, 12 standard, right? Uh, Blackie, I would say you drop the plan. It's very, very difficult. It's mostly not going to happen, and I don't want you to keep that as an aspiration and then get disappointed about it. Instead, you try and do as well as you can on the CAT. See what happens. If you get something, some of the third generation IMs, maybe just go for the process and see what happens. But if you have a very high CAT score, it will open more opportunities, right? See, a lot of us, what we think is, if I can't make it to IIMs, that's the end of the world. But it is not. There are thousands of students who will not be able to get into any of these IIMs, but they might get into, say, an NMIMS through NMAT, a Symbiosis through SNAP, a BITSOM, or some other SDA Bocconi, for example, or something else. A Great Lakes Institute of Management, right? Goa Institute of Management. You're going to have tons of good institutes available. So don't take life decisions just based on the numbers that you see, right? And rather than overthinking about this, right? See, overthinking is never the solution. You focus on your CAT score, get as high CAT score as you can, and then see what happens. Question from Venkatesh 333. Profile is 10th 82. Okay. Diploma 70 and engineering 83. Okay. NC OBC candidate. All right. No work ex. I'm taking coaching from IMS Bangalore. Okay. Engineering candidate. All right. Okay. Minimum percentile to aim to get into some of the IIMs would be about 93 percentile. Blackie, I'm not very sure, right? Because again, it's like hyper competitive to sort of make it there. And for NCOBC candidate also, because you're from engineering, it becomes more challenging. But at about 93 percentile, you will be able to unlock some of the third generation IIMs. At about 95.5 plus, you will be able to unlock some of the second generation IIMs. So can you make it to IIMs? The answer is yes. Coder M1P, fluent English kaise bole, right? So see, everything is just about practice. The more you practice it, every opportunity that you get to speak, use that. For example, the way I'm using this opportunity to speak, right? I might end up making some errors, and that's the way you're going to learn and get better. Okay. Raj Kashyap 4940 89 89 65. Okay, so 89 89 is good. It's just that it's just below those threshold that a lot of institutes have kept. So if you look at weightages, let's say how the points are awarded by IIM Ahmedabad, you are just missing on that 90 percentile mark, 90% mark. So 89 89 65, non-engineer and SC candidate, right? See, those three internships is fine. Even if you had one internship, it's not a concern. Even if you have no internship, that's not a concern. With SC and non-engineering background, right? You will be able to make it to Blackie at about, my median data tells me, at about 91 point something also. Okay? Range is anywhere between 87 to about 97, 97, 98. Second generation IIMs, similar, at about 91. Third generation IIMs at about 86%. So you will be able to make it to IIMs, very good IIMs at about 91.4 plus, and third generation at about 86.4 plus. Gem Fresher, this is CS Coders 2269. Gem Freshers 97, 90, and 90. Okay, 97, 90, 90 is very good record, by the way. General engineer male, right? Okay. You're going to hear like an obscene number when it comes to Blackie. Median is about 99.6. 98.4 also similar. Not 98.4, sorry, 99.4. I can see somebody has made it. 99.6 is median, and higher is like 99.9. Second generation IIM is possible at about 98.7, lower bound at about 96.8. third generation IMS at 97ish. So bare minimum target for you is 97 point something. That will open up a lot of doors. 798 female non-engineer, no work X. Okay, this is Mehek, I guess, 70, 90 and 80. Female non-engineering candidate. Um, General category, is that the case? Female non-engineer, no work X. All right. So 70, 90, 80, right? See, the 10th is a problem. Okay, Mehek. So that 10th is going to hurt you quite a bit. Class 12th is good. Graduation is also good, but 10th, 70% is going to be a problem. Minimum requirement, I would say, should be somewhere around 93 percentile to make it to some of the second and third generation IMs. Though we don't have a lot of students at lower percentile. So I would say 93 plus, bare minimum. See, what will happen is you have to also look at this from a broad how can I improve my chances perspective, right? It's not only about Blackie or second generation IMs. The more I score, right, I would create options in the form of say an ISB, right, and say an FMS, SPJIMR, whatever, XLRI if you take the ZAT. So create more and more opportunities for yourself, no matter what profile you bring to the table. Uh, Ritik, Ritika MS 1373. This is 9081. Okay, 90, 81 and 94 on your graduation. That's massive, impressive. NCOBC female engineering candidate. Uh, okay, I can see data of female candidates at about 98 percentile making it. Even at about 95.6 kind of median, you can possibly get in. Bare minimum target, I think you should keep somewhere in the range of 94 because that will open up pretty much all opportunities for you. So 94 as the bare minimum target with this kind of academic record. This is boring BW Anugya, right? Okay, 10th 82. I'm guessing your name is Anudnya or Anugya. 10th is 82, 12th 94. BBA currently, okay, first year 81 in graduation. That's pretty good. Female, uh, okay, you're doing non-engineering, right? All right, female general non-engineer. Okay, 98.6 is the median for Blackie. Lower bound at about 95.6. Being a female non-engineer has its advantages, correct? So 95.6 to get into one of the Blackies. At 96 plus, all second generation IMs also possible. And third generation IMs possible at about 95%. So bare minimum target 95. Second generation 96 and for Blackie 98.6. That should be the target. For median, lower bound 95 still possible. Okay. This is Mitesh 7857. Okay, so Mitesh, see, I don't want to be the one giving you that bad news, but unfortunately I have to. See, 1257, correct, will hurt you, correct, and you are a general candidate. So 78, 57, 86, BSc Computer Science, so non-engineering and male. Um, Relook at your Blackie goals. Okay, can you make it to any IIM? The answer is yes, because see, a lot of the second, third generation IIMs will be possible if you get a higher CAT score. So let's say you get a 93 or a 95%, you might get some of the calls. Converting will still be a challenge because of your final composite score will still be lower because of your 10, 12, right? I would say look at non-IIMs, take other exams, ADMATs, NMAT, SNAP, CMAT, CET. Definitely look at all of them, correct? See what happens. ZAT for sure you should be looking at, and then see. Okay. So, but Blackie, I don't think you should be targeting it because otherwise, one unnecessary disappointment, correct? So, re-look at Blackie aspiration. 876 general. This is user Pittsburgh 876. Okay. So 80, 70, 60. Again, 80, 70, 60 general male, even if you're a non-engineer, is going to be a problem. So you should be aiming for, I think, a 93, 95 to have some sort of maybe a third generation IM calls, second generation IM calls. I don't have enough data which is similar to this kind of profile. That is why I'm not giving a certain number. But if I have to give like a vanilla recommendation, about a 93, 95 percentile to target. Samir Khan, 07, 59 in your 10th, that is going to hurt you for sure. 85 and 93, right? See, generally, I mean, tend to not sugarcoat stuff, right? So if something is going to hurt you, even though I'm not happy telling you that, I have to tell you, right? Because there's no point you keeping the aspiration and then getting disappointed. So I would say 59 is not going to be competitive for Blackie. So better look at second, third generation IMs, try 93, 95. If you get calls, great. If you don't get calls, look at non-IMs. And don't reject non-IM just like that. A lot of people do that mistake. They believe that just getting into IM is the end of the world, but no, that's not how things work. Right? So this is from Himesh Nagendra 7556, 8496, solid score by the way in 12 standard. BB also 91 is very, very good. And this is NCOBC non-engineering male candidate, I'm guessing. Good news, Blackie possible at about 96.7 also. I can see that as the median. Max at about 99.1, which means if you get like a 99 plus, right, you have super shot, right? You are almost in. Second generation IMs at about 96 as well. And third generation IMs at about 91 point something. So bare minimum target 91. The next tier target is 96. Okay. All right. So this format, and I believe that we'll be able to answer a lot of and pretty much all the questions. Looks like this format is not the best format, and maybe we should have taken questions and then just discuss the profiles, which we will do. Right. So what we will do is we'll take some of these cases and then maybe make a video on that. Or what I'll do is just leave it as a comment and I'll answer it. Okay. So, but give me some time. See, today I don't know, I may have answered close to about 30, 35 odd queries in this particular session. I can see a lot of other queries and I'm very sorry I'll not be able to handle all of them. But leave it as a comment, like the stream and the channel, obviously. Subscribe to the channel, come back to it, and you will see a response. Okay. But unfortunately, in the interest of time, we'll have to wrap it up. In the next 5 minutes, I'm going to wrap it up. So I'm just going to take maybe a couple of questions and give like a generic recommendation to all of you. Okay. See, firstly, anybody with a 90 plus in 10, 12th and reasonable graduation, right? Stop worrying about your chances. What you should focus on is what is the best that I can do when it comes to CAT percentile. Those of you are category students, don't think that just because you are in a category, it is going to be easy for you. It is not. And even general candidate students don't think that it is easy for category students. What happens is category students are fighting within the category. So there also it is very competitive. So just because somebody is from category doesn't mean it is easy for them. Right? It becomes very competitive within that category because there are fewer seats. So the only thing is that the minimum percentile requirement will fall down a little bit as well as the sectional. So the first thing that I will note is, am I clearing the minimum sectional requirement? We have seen students all these years, in spite of having a category, not being able to clear the minimum sectional requirement. And then it becomes a problem. Correct? So focus on minimum sectional percentile first. Target that, whatever is the number for your category. Having done that, you are just becoming eligible. Aim for at least 5 to 10 percentile more than what is the minimum requirement that the institute has set. So if you see some IMs have given 90%, 85 percentile as the overall minimum requirement. You should target at least a 90 or a 95. With that, if you get a call, great. If you don't get a call, that's still fine because some other thing will happen. Okay? So worry about your CAT preparation more than about, let's say, your profile on all of that. All shortlisting is on the basis of quantitative parameters. 10th, 12th, graduation are numbers, work X is a number. Category is, and there are different categories that are there. Gender is again, either you get those points or you don't. Stream also, engineering, non-engineering. So anything that is quantitative and can be filtered, they use that. Internships, extracurricular, co-curricular, sports, whatever, none of that matters, at least for the IMs in the shortlisting stage. It, however, makes a difference in the final selection. So having it is great. If you don't have it, don't try to generate it in the remaining time. Instead, put that energy and effort into getting a better CAT score, which will open more opportunities. And then post CAT, you can focus a little bit on improving your profile. Okay. Uh, so these are some of the fundamentals. If for whatever reasons, right, and there are enough data points available in the market, for whatever reason, if you think, okay, something tells you that you will not be able to make it to black, right? It looks like an impossible target. Does that mean you stop preparing for CAT? No. Right? Does that mean you change your goals completely? No. You still target, keeping in mind that the chances are on the lower side. Correct. Relook at your aspiration, focus on second generation, third generation, ADMATs, ZAT, NMAT, SNAP, whatever other exams that you can take, just to improve your overall chance of getting in. Okay. I'm going to end the stream here, and I know that um, some of you will be disappointed because of that, but please leave your question as a comment. Okay. The overall agenda was very clear to help you understand what sort of things matter, what doesn't matter, and what chance you have. Correct. I can see question from Orange Tree, right? Female NCOBC. Advantage in that format. Female, great. NCOBC, great. But that 6, 9, 8 will still be a problem. That 6 will be a problem, not 9 and 8. So then what do I do? Because my 10 score is on the lower side. How can I compensate for that? Increase your CAT percentile maybe by 4 or 5 percentile from what you're targeting at this point of time. So if you're targeting say 90, aim for 95. It will create some difference. So just because you come from a particular category or from a background, don't take those advantages for granted. They are not, right? I mean, it's not going to be very easy for anybody. People believe that if you're a female chartered accountant, right, it will be easy for you. No, it's not. Correct? It's not easy because even there, your CA percentage is going to matter. Correct? So it's not easy for anybody. You focus on your own CAT preparation. These are the things that you don't control. See, students who are still in the final year, or let's say pre-final year, you are targeting CAT 27, for example. You can improve your profile. You can get your get a better GPA. But people who already have these things, right? That's your profile. Now the only thing that you can add is maybe work experience. So focus on controllables. Don't worry about things that you don't control. 10, 12 is gone. It's history. There's nothing that you can do about it. So stop worrying about it. Instead, focus, divert all your energy on your CAT preparation, clearing the sectionals, clearing overall, and then pushing up your score via the best sections that you can get. Okay. 787 BBA fresher NCOBC. Yadav Tushar. Um, 7 will be a bit of a challenge at a few places. If you want me to sort of run these numbers, I would say a minimum of 96.8, right? That should be the number to look at. So see, I'm going to give numbers, correct? And I'm going to give answers to all the questions over the next couple of days. So what I'll do is you leave it as a comment. Give me say another 3, 4, 5 days to get back. Because we also have the CAT form filling video coming up on Monday. That is starting. So focus focus on that for a while. But leave your comment. I will get back as soon as I can. Okay, so that's the only thing that I can commit. All right. But to sort of wrap up this discussion, I would say worry about controllables. Right. Your profile, some aspect of it, there's nothing that can be done. Some aspect you can improve. Don't worry too much about these extracurriculars and stuff like that. They don't matter. I mean, if somebody comes in today with a 95, 95, 95 with zero extracurriculars, I will still take that person, right? Because I am going with what the data is telling me. So focus on the things that matter. Don't worry about things that don't, and give everything that you can to for your CAT preparation. Right? See, I'm going to leave you with two stories, and these stories are important, right? So I had a student, I'm talking about around 2017, right? So IIMs had a different criteria at that point of time. So this guy, general engineer, male candidate, Mumbai University, gets a 99.87 on the CAT. Does not get a call from Ahmedabad and Bangalore, right? So he kind of knew that. But a 99.87, he got a call from IIM Calcutta and he converted IIM Calcutta. The second story is of a female chartered accountant, right? About 53% in her CA program. Didn't get a call from Ahmedabad at about 99.7, but got a Lucknow call and converted that. So the objective is to convert what you get. The objective is not to cry about the things that don't call you, because things happen, sometimes they don't, right? So it's okay. So there's this quote by Randy Posh, right, that he says brick walls are there for a reason. They tell you how badly you want things. So it's fine, right? I mean, that's how things are. Some IM will call you, some IM will not call you at a certain percentile, but that's okay, correct? Because if one thing does not happen, something else will happen, right? It just like that quote from Marcus Aurelius, right? That impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. So I would say focus more on the things that you control. Do your CAT prep, give it the best that you can, and then see what happens. Okay. So all right, we'll end it here. Before I start getting a lot philosophical about the whole bit. So it's time to end it here. Thank you so much for joining in. I wish all of you all the best, and stay tuned. On Monday, we'll have the CAT form filling video. Bye, everyone. Take care.